HIS-jules Purpose here again with another video. So tonight I am doing it a little differently. I am streaming from three pages. So you may be getting different notifications, but if you'd like to join me in the comments and to comment on this video, please tune in to HIS-jules Purpose page. Alright, so on Fire for Jesus, You're Not Really Alone, and Julian Simpson should be live, I believe. But you can comment on HIS-jules Purpose. Alright, so I hope you're all having a wonderful night or morning, depending on where you are in the world. Today I'm talking about the subject of boundaries, why you need to set boundaries to protect your mental health. Boundaries is something that's very important. You know, it is that invisible line that we make, and that is what we should have, so that there is a limit. There's a limit, so we know who can cross what or whatsoever. Boundaries is really a protection to us. Boundaries is a form of self-care. And I just want to encourage someone and maybe inform someone that it's important. It's really, really important, especially to all of those who are like myself, people who are very kind, people who are giving, all those empaths. Boundaries is very, very important. Hello to everyone who is tuning in. As you tune in, please share and also comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what part of the world, where on the globe you're tuning in from. Alright, so earlier today I had a conversation with one of my friends, and the friend was sharing, that they have been offering their time and service to someone, but they're now feeling as though their service is being unappreciated. And followed by that, there was another instance where another person expressed how they first of all, this person is someone who assists others, and now this person is not in a position to assist a person or whoever the individual was. For whatever reason, they weren't able to assist, and the one who was asking for help got upset or offended. Now, this is a no-no for me, just because someone, or rather, just because you're the one who is always assisting a person, but now you're not able to assist, you should not allow any person or any situation like that to cause you to feel badly, because this is a person who is overstepping your boundaries. It's good that you're helpful and you're willing to assist others, but there comes a point in time where you have to step back and you have to do some self-care. It's really good to help. By all means, help as much people that you can, but there comes a time where you have to really think about yourself, or you may not always be in a position to help others. So when I saw that and I heard about that situation and that the other person was upset, I was like, wow. And there are a lot of people like that. They come to you and they ask for help. They expect you to help, especially when they know that you are very kind and you're the giver and you're known to be the giver. And then they expect you to give even if you don't have, and when you refuse, when you say no, they become upset or angry. Those are people who you should be very careful of. Those are not people that you should have in your circle. In my opinion, those are not the sort of people that you should have around in your circle. So I want to speak to someone to let you know the importance of setting clear and healthy boundaries. Um, because if you don't, people take advantage of you. People take you for granted. People will feel as though they can mistreat you, they can use you, and they can abuse you. And that is not what you're called to do. That is not what God have you on earth for. You know, yes, you're called for a great purpose, and it's good to give. God wants us to give, and God wants us to be kind, but God doesn't want us to be taken for granted. Actually, I'm going to quote from You're Not Really Alone, in my book. Um, yes, God wants you to be kind, but not to the detriment of your success and happiness. And this is very important. Help if you're able to, but not to the detriment of your own success and happiness. So don't feel bad if someone ask a favor of you and you're not able to assist at that moment. Especially if you're always there for such person and you're not able to assist at this current time. Don't feel badly about that. Alright, so again, setting clear boundaries is very beneficial. It's needed. It's needed for your mental health. You know, there's power in saying no. A lot of people seem to have a problem with saying no. I don't understand. Why is it so hard to say no? There's so many ways to say no. You know, but there's power in saying no. You know, you can say no. You say nope, no, no. There's so many ways to say no. Sometimes it's needed to say no. Sometimes the no that you say is a protection to you. Sometimes your no has to be a protection to your mental health, even your finances. You know, you can't always be a yes man or a yes woman, because if you are, then other people will try to take advantage of you. They'll try to misuse and abuse your kindness. So we have to be very careful of this. Very, very careful. You know, and by setting clear boundaries, we're also reducing stress. Because sometimes, you know, if you really think about it, the favors that are being asked, you know, or when you make yourself available all the time, even when you don't want to, but because you don't know how to say no, then you find yourself having a lot of stress or becoming overwhelmed, but you don't want to disappoint the person. So you just do as you're being asked, but there comes a point where you need to say no. You can't always say yes. Sometimes you have to think about yourself, and it's not being selfish. Sometimes you have to think about me. Think about the self first. After God, you should come next, and then everyone else. Because if you're not well, and if you're not taking care of your mind, your body, your soul, your entire being, how can you expect to take care of other people? Think about it. If you're not well, how can you expect to be of any service or use to other people? It's impossible. Eventually, I mean, you're gonna get burnt out or sick or tired, you know, and, you know, the worst. And then what happens? They find someone else to replace what you were doing. You have to be very mindful and know the people who are in your circle and those who try to come close to you. Know what they're about, who they are, and why they're there. It's so important, because some people, it's not that they really care. It's more so of your hand, what you can do. And it's the same with God. Like, some people, they go to God in prayer, But it's not that they go to God because they just want to worship or whatsoever. They go to God with their hands stretched out. They're asking. It's always about what you can do for me. What can I get? It's never like, how can I serve you? How can I become a better servant or a better um, daughter or better son or a better whoever? It's always about what you can do for the person. So we have to be mindful of that and be mindful of the people in our lives who are there to take. You know, it can be just a one-way stream. Like in a relationship, it can't be one-sided. It has to be give and take. So be very mindful and set clear boundaries in every relationship. Doesn't matter what it is. Any form of relationship, personal relationship, even if it's work, family, whatever it is, friendship, business relationships, partnerships. Set clear boundaries so that people do not overstep them, so that you don't become overwhelmed or burnt out, or feeling neglected or taken for granted. This leads me to a subtopic in the book, You're Not Really Alone, written by me. So the subtopic is when you're unappreciated and overlooked. How many of you are probably feeling overlooked or unappreciated by people who you poured out your all, you've invested your time, energy, and it's like you're not doing anything at all based on the based on how they're causing you to feel. There are people like that. You give and you give and you pour into them, but they just continue to take and they don't pour into you. So one has to be careful. Let me share this with you. You must understand that not everyone will appreciate what you bring to the table. And this is so true. You must learn to be okay with that. You are doing yourself a disfavor when you invest all your time, energy, money, and knowledge in people who do not appreciate your worth. When you allow other people to hurt, manipulate, and take advantage of you, you dishonor yourself. When you do not set clear boundaries, you dishonor yourself. When you disregard your own need for the sake of other people, you dishonor yourself. God wants you to be kind, but not to the detriment of your success and happiness. You must learn to say no whenever necessary. You cannot always make yourself available to the service of others when you're not prioritizing your own well-being. Put yourself first. After God, you are the most important person in your life. Who can you call to care for you when you do not care for yourself? If you realize that you're always giving, but the people around you are always taking, you need to evaluate your worth. And it's not that you're not worth. I mean, you're worth so much, but it's like when you allow people to cross the line and to overstep your boundaries, in a sense, you are devaluing your worth. So you really need to self-check and analyze who you have in your circle and to do what's necessary. Create boundaries, cut ties if needed, but don't allow people to continue to take you for granted. This is very important. It's extremely important, and it's important to your mental health. And if you're not right mentally, then you won't be able to perform in other aspects of your life. It will affect you emotionally too. Self-care is important, and setting clear boundaries is a form of self-care. So, as mentioned, it's important, very important, to set clear and healthy boundaries in any relationship at all so as to protect your mental health. You know, I don't know who is there listening to me, but someone needs to be reminded of this. It's okay to say no. If you are in a situation and someone asks you a favor and you're not able to assist, it's not that you can't, but for whatever reason you're not able to, or you choose not to. Don't feel badly about it. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. If they are of if they had a good intent, or if God sends them, then they should be understanding. And if they are in need, then I'm sure that God will provide for them. You know, sometimes people need that, they need to learn to put their faith and trust in God. You know, a lot of people, they tend to want to depend and rely on individuals for their needs, but all provision should come from God. You know, that is where your faith and trust should be. Never put your faith and trust in a mortal. Never do that, because you'll be disappointed. You know, people will fail you, and people get tired. People have their own issues, you know. So don't be disappointed if someone is not able to assist. And if you're on the other end and you're the one who's saying no, don't feel badly about that. Understand that boundaries is important. You matter. Your health matter. So don't allow anyone to abuse that at all. So that's my message. I really pray that it inspired and strengthened someone. You know, mental health is very important. A positive mental health, because we all have mental health, but sometimes, you know, it's more on the negative side, and that's where depression comes in, anxieties come in. But we got to protect our mental health, so that we are able to also protect our peace of mind, and our joy, which is very, 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 very important. All right, so say with me, no. Somebody needed help with that. You know, it's okay to say no if necessary. So let me know if this word has been a blessing to you, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So I'll see you in the next video. Also, I'd love for you, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting there more often. And I would love for you to grab a copy of the book, You're Not Really Alone. You can find it on Amazon. It's in paperback, hardcover, and ebook. Or you could get it at www.HIS-julespurpose.com. Have a wonderful day or evening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.